Jennifer, thanks for being with us today. I wonder if to start, you could just share a little bit about your family, tell us a little about your kids.
Well, we have three children. Our eldest is 8, and her name is Sarah. And we have a son, Benjamin, that's 5. And our little one is Rachel. She's 2.
Great. Do your kids know how strongly you feel about them not smoking at this point? They're young, but have you communicated that?
Yeah, I hope we have. Trying to take advantage of opportunities when we're kind of more in a public setting and are more apt to kind of be around people that smoke, and just trying to take the opportunity then. They notice it usually, or will talk about it more and say, oh, it's smoky in here, or I don't like that smell. Sometimes so far as to say, do we have to sit where they're smoking? Because we live in an area where there still are restaurants where they're smoking in sections. So they're more apt to say that, and for us to say, yes, you're right, it's uncomfortable, isn't it?
Good. Okay, that's a great start, because it lets them know your values, which is we don't like smoking. Right. And that's anything you can do to make smoking a negative when kids are young is a value that they may come back and help them later on. What's Sarah's attitude about smoking right now?
Well, I think she can't quite imagine why anyone would do that.
Okay, that's great.
It just, I don't think it makes any sense to her. So I think it's difficult for her to understand why anyone would just do that.
Yeah. Okay. Well, you're probably aware that that's a great attitude to start with, but that's no guarantee that when she's in middle school or high school and she sees other kids starting to smoke, that she might not rethink that.
Absolutely.
So you have to continue to have these conversations with her and help her understand that it's not okay with you and your husband that she smoke. Right. That's a part of it. Part of it is persuading them not to want it. But you can help get through adolescence, which is a time when teenagers don't always make the best decisions. Their brain's still developing. The part of the brain, the cerebral cortex that deals with risk management, it hasn't developed quite yet. And so they don't always see that what I do now has a high risk for later on. And so sometimes parents can help bridge that gap by letting them know that there's some immediate risk, namely you're going to be in trouble at home, you're going to have to stay home more, we're going to have to search your belongings, there are going to be things we're going to do because we want you to keep that agreement about not smoking. One of the things that parents can do to really help minimize the risks of smoking and other dangerous things kids might do later is to be involved in their lives. To be involved with school, with sports, with arts, with other things, and let them know you care and you show up and you participate. What are some things that you do that might get that message across to your kids that that you're actively involved?
Well, they are my job right now. I'm fortunate enough to have the opportunity at this point to be able to be at home with my children. We're not home much, but I'm considered a stay-at-home mom. So I have the luxury in some respects of being able to spend time at their schools, and each of them have their own activity that they participate in. And typically we go to those activities as a family. There aren't many activities that we do where it's just one child, one parent kind of thing. So so I hope that by continuing to support them in their activity of choice and being there for them, that will help at least establish a foundation from which there's trust and respect, and we can go from there.
And it communicates that I care about you. And it's so important for kids to understand their parents care about me, they're on my side, they want me to succeed, they're my cheerleaders, they discipline me and try to keep me, from going outside the limits, but they really are on my side. And when they share later on that they don't want me to smoke, it's because they love me and they care about my health. It's not just because they're making a rule. So you can get that across subtly by being involved in their activities, being involved at school. Have you tried to talk to any of your kids directly about not smoking, about your views about not smoking? Sarah's now 8, so that would be, a good time to start having those kind of conversations.
I think mostly it would just still be in the context of just noticing it out, their level of, or her particular level of discomfort when we walk into a public setting, or happen to be maybe even sometimes waiting in line when you're outside someplace and somebody's smoking right there. And just sort of reiterating again, talking about if it's uncomfortable for you to smell that while we're standing here in line, imagine what that is doing to the person's body inside, to put that inside of your body, what that's like.
That's a great way to get her to think about that internally. Well, Jennifer, thank you so much for taking the time to be with us today. You had a lot of great ideas, and I think that's going to help you and your family immensely.
Oh, great. Thank you. It's been my pleasure.